Imagine for a moment that some of the people you trust the most, maybe even your own family, might not be what they seem. This isn't about normal disagreements or personality clashes. It's something deeper. Something missing that's hard to explain. A lack of light, of spirit, of soul. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that ancient teachings, sacred writings, and spiritual teachers have warned us about this? There are beings that look like people, but they aren't truly alive inside. They walk and talk like anyone else, but inside, they're empty. They act like they care, but their energy feels cold and fake. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt nothing? Like their stare was blank? Or seen someone smile, but it had no real feeling behind it? Or maybe there's a person in your family who hurts you, and then blames you for being too sensitive? Today, we're going to talk about something old and unsettling: how to tell if someone has no soul. What's really shocking isn't that they exist, but how close they might be. Sometimes, they're not far away, they're right next to you. And here's the hardest truth: some of these signs might show up in people you've known your whole life. This video might not be easy to hear. But stay with me, because at the end, I'll share the 9th sign, the hardest to accept, but the one that could change how you see everything. Old spiritual paths, like Hermeticism, Gnosticism, and even teachings from Tibet and Egypt, say the same thing: not everyone with a human body is connected to a higher source. Some people carry darkness, not because they choose to, but because that's their nature. And when you learn to see this, you protect your spirit. Spotting them gives you back your strength. Let's start with the first sign: their eyes. No matter how much they pretend to care, their eyes seem off. It's like looking at a mask, well made, but empty behind it. Some shamanic teachings say the eyes show the soul. And when there's no soul, it shows in the gaze. You might be having a deep talk with them, but still feel like you're speaking to a wall. The second sign is fake empathy. These people know how to act like they care, but when you really need support, they're cold, distant, or even make fun of your feelings. It's not just once, it's how they always are. It's like they simply don't know how to feel what others feel. And maybe they really can't. The third sign is using your emotions like weapons. They'll cry to get what they want, make you feel guilty when you've done nothing wrong, or change their story to fit the moment. They never feel bad about it. They always have a plan, but there's no truth in it. Ancient Egyptian wisdom spoke about the heart being weighed after death. A person with a soul feels that weight. But someone without a soul? They feel nothing. No regret. No guilt. The fourth sign is that they drain you. After spending time with them, you feel tired, confused, and low on energy. It's not normal tiredness, it's your spirit being pulled. Some ancient texts talk about energy thieves, people who feed off others' light without giving anything back. And the scary part is, they might do it with a smile. So let me ask, have you ever felt like someone is taking your peace, not by doing anything obvious, but just by being around? Like they're slowly dimming your inner light? The fifth sign is that their words don't match their actions. They say they care, but they act cold. They promise to be there, but disappear when you need them. This isn't once or twice, it's a pattern. Their whole personality is a mask. When the soul is gone, the ego takes over. And ego without soul is just fake. Old alchemy says the soul is what helps us grow and change. Without it, there's no growth, only the same mistakes again and again. Soulless people keep doing the same harmful things. They don't grow, they don't learn. Now, take a moment to think. Do you know someone like this? Someone who's been in your life for years, but something has always felt off. Many mystics, like Gurdjieff, Ouspensky, and Blavatsky, said most people live in a kind of sleep. But some aren't just asleep, they can't wake up, because they don't have what links us to the divine, the soul. If this makes you feel uneasy, that's okay. This kind of knowledge has been hidden for ages. But it takes a strong spirit to face it. And if you're here now, it means you're ready. In the next part, I'll talk about signs 6, 7, and 8, leading up to the final and most powerful one, sign number 9. Are you ready to look past appearances? Are you prepared to see what's really behind the masks, even the ones worn by people you love? If this message feels true to you, share your thoughts in the comments. Your words might help someone else see what they've been missing. So far, we've talked about 5 clear signs that reveal the presence of people without a soul. And maybe while listening, certain faces, memories, or feelings came to your mind. That's not random. When the soul hears something true, it reacts, because spiritual truth isn't something new we learn, it's something we already carry inside. It just needs to be awakened. So let's move on to the 6th sign. The 6th sign is the lack of inner growth. Everyone goes through tough times and learns from them. But these people don't. They repeat the same mistakes again and again. You'll see them act the same, hurt others the same way, and over time, they become more closed off and empty. It's like they don't grow older emotionally, they just become harder. The soul is what helps us change. In spiritual teachings, it's said that without the fire of the soul, nothing inside us can transform. Without the soul, there's no growth. Only heaviness. Do you know someone who, no matter what they've been through, never learns? Someone who doesn't become better, even after suffering? The 7th sign is quiet damage. These people often slowly break down the peace in any space they enter, whether it's family, friends, or work. Things fall apart around them, but not loudly. It starts small, little things said, tiny manipulations, or quiet tension. The scariest part is, when everything's a mess, they're often still in the middle of it, but nobody blames them. Ancient teachings called this the shadow in the temple, someone who doesn't do anything directly but still spreads confusion, drama, and division. It's easy to blame others, but constant trouble around one person usually isn't just bad luck. The 8th sign is the strong rejection of anything spiritual. It sounds obvious, but it goes deeper than just not being interested. These people can't stand topics about the soul. Not because they believe in something else, but because something in them pushes it away. They feel uneasy when the sacred is mentioned. They make fun of deep feelings. They laugh at intuition or don't like talking about the universe. They get annoyed by quiet or subtle things. Old spiritual traditions like the Sufi and Kabbalah teachings say the soul is drawn to the sacred, and when someone is missing a soul, they turn away from anything that lifts the spirit. A body with no soul fears the light, just like a shadow fears sunrise. Think about it. Have you noticed certain people, even in your family, change their face or attitude when you talk about spiritual things? Do they mock it or leave the conversation? That could be more than doubt, it could be a real sign. Now we're getting close to the final and strongest sign, number 9. Once you notice it, you can't ignore it. But before we go there, take a breath, because this truth might shake how you see some people in your life. Before hearing it, take a moment to check in with yourself. What have you felt so far? Confused, clear, emotional? It's all part of waking up. And remember, you're not the only one. Thousands of people are starting to see the same things. And when one person wakes up, they help others find the light too. That's why this information is powerful, and also dangerous. Because once you see it, you can't go back. Gnostic teachings talked about the Helix, people with no divine spark, whose role is to keep the world asleep. And they said these people live among us. In our homes, even in our families. Not to hurt us, but to help us learn. Noticing them is part of the way back to truth. So now, ask yourself, can you look past appearances? Can you see with your inner eyes, not just the ones on your face? In the next part, I'll share the 9th and final sign. It's the one that brings all the others together. And I'll explain it with the care it needs, because it's more than just a behavior. It's like a mirror. A doorway. A point between illusion and truth. We've now reached the 9th sign. This is the deepest one, the hardest to face, but also the one that sets you free once you understand it. This sign doesn't show up in what they say or do. You can't see it clearly with your eyes. You feel it. You sense it. You recognize it with your soul. The 9th sign is the complete lack of vibrational connection. No matter what you do, how much love you give, or how patient you are, there's no true bond. No spark. It's like trying to hold a shadow or talk to an echo. You keep trying again and again because your soul wants real connection, true understanding, and deep love. But with these kinds of people, nothing works. Love doesn't stay. Peace never settles. And the strange thing? You often blame yourself. You think something's wrong with you, that maybe you need to love harder, heal more, or try again. But the truth is, you're trying to connect with someone who doesn't have a soul for your soul to connect with. That's one of the hardest truths to accept. Not everyone is able to hold light, because they don't have the space for it. The Persian poet Rumi once said, "Those without a soul cannot dance with the universe. They copy the steps but never hear the music." And that's exactly it. They pretend to feel, act, and speak like others, but they don't really feel anything. They don't rise with you. They don't change with you. Often, these people have been part of your life from the beginning, maybe a parent, a sibling, a partner, or even your own child. And that's when it hurts the most. How can someone who shares your story, your blood, be spiritually empty? It's a hard answer, but one that must be faced. If you don't face it, you'll keep repeating the same pain. But if you do face it, no matter how painful, it can protect your energy, your soul, and your future. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, the other person stays cold? Like your words don't touch them, your feelings don't move them, and your love just bounces off. That's what many spiritual texts call the mirror test. If the other person doesn't reflect your light back to you, it's not a mirror, it's an empty space. And here's one of the deepest teachings found in Hermetic and Gnostic paths. Before being born, some souls choose to come into families full of darkness. Not as punishment, but as preparation. As a mission. Because when you see what has no soul, your own soul wakes up even more. The difference between light and dark doesn't just reveal others, it reveals who you are. This is where knowing becomes strength. Once you accept that some people don't have a soul, you stop expecting what they can't give. You stop wasting your energy on relationships that only take from you. You begin to protect your space, raise your energy, and stop calling suffering love. Because real love doesn't ask you to break yourself. And if someone drains you, dims your light, or pulls you down, that's not love. That's a trap. And if it's someone from your own family, it cuts deeper. But it also shows you your biggest spiritual lesson. The oldest souls didn't come to earth for comfort. They came to wake up. And now that we've looked at all 9 signs, one big question comes up. Is it possible that I, too, lost my soul somewhere along the way? Can I get it back? The answer is both mysterious and full of hope. Many old spiritual paths talk about the soul being stolen or split. They say that deep pain, toxic relationships, or unconscious spiritual agreements can break your connection to your soul. But they also say the soul can be brought back, and that the way home starts with truth. Maybe you're not one of them. Maybe you're just disconnected. And if that's the case, you can come back. You can heal. You can remember who you really are. But if you've realized that someone close to you never had a soul to begin with, then your task is different, it's to protect your light. Don't let their emptiness put out your flame. Your soul is sacred fire, and you are here to guard it. In the next part, We'll end this journey with a deep message and a strong guide for what to do next. We'll talk about how to deal with these people, how to protect your space, and how to keep going on your path without taking on pain that doesn't belong to you. You've made it this far through all 9 signs, and now you stand in a new place. Because what you've seen and felt on this path can't be unseen. You are standing in front of a hidden doorway. One side is the comfort of not knowing, and the other is the truth that changes everything. It's not your mind, not your curiosity, but your soul that brought you here. So now comes the real question: what will you do with this truth, especially when the soulless people are not strangers, but people you grew up with? People from your home, your bloodline? Spiritual truth isn't just something to know, it's something to live. Because to know but not act is like holding a light and refusing to shine it. First, remember, you're not alone. Whatever you feel right now, whether it's sadness, clarity, pain, or freedom, is part of growing. Many others all over the world are waking up to the same truth, quietly, in their own minds. The mask is falling. And you are part of a quiet, ancient shift that teachers like Rudolf Steiner, Samuel Weir, and Gurdjieff spoke about. They all warned that there are people in this world without a true soul, only instincts, habits, and a human shell. Do you remember the story of Atlantis? They say one reason it collapsed was that humans started mixing with beings that had no soul. That led to the fall of values, spirit, and love. And don't we see that now? Fake love, constant manipulation, emotional pain in families, and people growing colder. We are repeating the fall of past worlds. That's why what you now know isn't just for you, it's something that touches your roots, your ancestors. And it deserves respect. The first step is to accept things as they are. Not everyone will wake up, not everyone has a soul, not everyone is here for a spiritual purpose, and that's okay. The universe holds many types of beings. Not every human-shaped body holds a spark of the divine. The second step is to protect your energy. We've already seen it, these people don't change no matter how much love, patience, or explaining you give. You can't light a candle in a pit with no bottom. So stop draining yourself. Your energy is your sacred space. It's limited. And you need to use it where it lifts your spirit, not where it wears you down. That might mean stepping back. It might mean setting clear lines where before you always gave in. It might even mean looking into the eyes of a family member who's hurt you and saying, from deep inside, you won't control me anymore. Yes, that may sting. But it's not the pain of being cruel, it's the pain that comes with breaking free. In the Amazon, elders say that when a jaguar bites you in a dream, it's eating what you no longer need. Pain shows that something old is leaving. And maybe what's leaving today is your bond with people who can't love you, people who take your peace and call it love, people who only show up to feed off your light. The third step is to awaken your own soul. Because it's not enough to see what's missing in others, you must also light your own flame. And that takes practice. It doesn't matter which practice you choose, meditation, prayer, time in nature, music that lifts your heart, spiritual books, or creative expression. Just start. Don't delay your awakening any longer. Don't keep giving energy to lifeless ties while your soul waits for you to show up. In Kabbalah, they say every soul has a special melody. When you live from truth, that music becomes strong and clear. But when you're surrounded by noise, by people without soul, your song fades. And what if I told you, this is just the beginning? Your soul came into this life for a reason, to remember who you are, to break out of heavy family lines, to free the ones who come after you, and to become a light in a world full of disconnection. Soulless people are not accidents, they are the contrast that helps you remember your power. They are the darkness that pushes you to rise. They are the night that gives meaning to the sunrise. But never forget this, you didn't come here to rescue them, you came to find yourself. And in doing so, others, those with soul, will start to recognize you too. They'll be drawn to you. Because when a soul wakes up, it gives off a signal that reaches beyond time and space. And it pulls in those who are meant to walk with you. Maybe you feel alone right now. But you're not. You're being called. You're being guided. You're being held by an unseen group of ancient souls, souls that see the fire in your eyes. And they will be there when you begin a new way of living, a life without old soul ties, toxic connections, or family control. A life dedicated to truth, to light, and to your soul. So how do you move forward now? With more strength. With more peace. With more clarity. You don't need to shout your truth. Just live it. Your energy will speak for you. I'll leave you with one last thought, taken from an old Hermetic text: when the shadow says you've gone mad, smile. That's the moment the light has seen you as its own. Now that you know, stay aware, stay strong, stay awake. And if this touched something inside you, share it. Help others remember, too. Because the world doesn't need more fake smiles, it needs more awakened souls. And you have already started. Thank you for watching.